Alright, good morning. It is 8:15 on a Saturday morning. Sun's coming in the windows. Still working on the new office. Um, was painting last night. We had an extra life meeting instead of a vodcast. That's going really well. Sadly, I bought only a single pint of paint, thinking it would be enough for a wall, but it's not enough for the wall. There's now that the sun's coming in and I can see it in the daylight, I got to go get another can this afternoon. But the wall is kind of one of the last stops on getting this room set up. So once I have the wall set up, I can hang the shelves and the dry erase board. Really start getting things nice. I'm excited for the dry erase board because I like doing flowcharts and like mind maps and stuff like that. And then I got this this one for my desk that's been really useful, much more useful than the post-it notes. And so now I kind of want to have a big one, so when I really have like a big idea that I need to like map out, I can just kind of head over to the dry erase board and kind of go nuts with it, essentially. So, hey, good morning. So this morning, we're going to work on Outlaws, Alkenstar, High Noon. These guys are a week behind the other group, soon to be 2 weeks behind the other group, because we will not be playing this next Saturday. We will be doing Extra Life. We left off, they had just faced off against wasps, and it was a real bad situation. So let's revisit where we're at and figure out where we're going. So, in Punks in a Powder Keg, in Run and Gun, we head over to the Yeast of All Brewery. Alright, so I can't see in the Yeast of All Brewery, but I believe it's almost daytime, so we could probably turn on some ambient lighting outside. What are we at? It's 5 a.m. Maybe we can't see just yet. Alright, so we just finished up this battle. There were wasps. So many wasps. They have defeated the wasps, and they have met Kasali. Now, Kasali is going to... What does Kasali sound like?
You know how I feel about dishonesty. I guess we'll have to take care of it.
Many guns begin to cock and load. Oh, okay. Wonder why I recorded so poorly. So Kasali and the Iron Hunters, per the adventure, they are getting ready to leave, but they didn't want to leave while the wasps and the malfunctioning Clockwork Brewers were still around because they didn't feel that it was safe. So, they, the party has taken care of that. This guy was going to reward them, but they kind of used up all his rewards trying to survive the wasp venom. He's going to say you can use our camp to rest if you need to. I'm not going to ask any questions, blah, 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 blah. I'm going to do the same courtesy for them that I did for the other group. He's going to go outside, and he's going to let people know that there's nothing to worry about in here, blah, blah, blah. So they're going to head out. That's going to give, per the adventure, the group the chance to get in some healing. I'm assuming the group is going to want to lay low during the day because it's going to be too easy to be spotted trying to make their way back to the base. So they'll lay low during the day and they'll head out at night. That will be the recommendation made by, well, I guess the only NPC I have to speak to them through is Vashon. Now, per the adventure, the Clearwater Cleaners are going to show up, and they're going to cause some problems. They have not spawned the yeast oozes yet, so those will get attracted to the sound of combat and come out during that. Vashon is not going to want to rest until he finds what he's looking for, which is an area D6. So the session will begin with him insisting on rooting through everything, Kasili giving them a place to rest, the party deciding to rest, we hope, we hope to God that they decide to rest. The rest being quote unquote interrupted after a certain amount of time, and then they have this big ass boss fight. After the boss fight, they would hear outside some of the powder keg punk people having their exchange per the adventure. And then we have a nice, like, written scripted event that we would read to them that transitions them into chapter 3? Question mark? Yes. And then they would level up. So, we have this UA cutscenes document called Shattered Control, Book 1, Chapter 2. End. There we go. Nice. Now, the other group is not near the end of Chapter 3 end, so we don't need to worry about that just yet. But we're coming up on it. And my man Darby has some really great ideas for what could be some scenes that we could kind of read at the end of Chapter 3, which is the end of Book 1. So that is something we could also look into preparing and having ready, because we got, about 40 minutes before the game starts. Ugh. All right. So after they finish up here, they get that cutscene, and then they enter into leveling up, and then they'll have Chapter 3, Turn the Screws. So in Chapter 3, Turn the Screws, they begin their investigation of the different areas of the city. The investigation minigame, I'm going to be honest, it was a little boring. The investigation minigame was a little boring. This group has Discretion Slither Scale, who has the investigation feat that makes you investigate twice as fast or whatever. Dewey Daystar, man, I don't know. Listen, Doctor, you maybe haven't followed my other games. I've got a bad reputation for making the games maybe harder than they need to be. I don't know why I do it, but I can't stop myself. It's like a real sickness. Okay, I'm ashamed of myself, but it is what it is. All right, let's see. I put the wrong thing there. Hold on. Let's see. I have a tendency to, I don't know. I learn what the limits are of a group, and I have a pretty good sense, especially once I get the hang of a system, of like kind of pushing that to the very brink. I'm not there yet with this system, and I haven't really been modifying things too much. The advice I got for a party of 5 is to just add like one extra trash mob to like every fight. Now the fight with Dewey, per the adventure, let's see. Where are you at, Dewey? Dewey. There we go. So the battle against it is a severe encounter, yes. The cleaners clean, severe encounter. So it's a severe encounter without the yeast popping in. So I could spawn the yeast early, since this group seems to struggle a lot more than the Sunset group, which is surprising to me. But maybe not, because the Sunset group has a fighter and 2 gunslingers. I don't know. I think for equity's sake, though, since they didn't directly spawn these guys for the adventure, I'll just have them pop out as like third-party wildcards during the fight, like we did with Sunset, and they'll just have to figure it out. All right, let me boot up our friend ChatGPT, and we'll keep working on our cutscene. I think that'll be pretty cool for the end of chapter 3. Let's see. Expand Outlaws of Alkenstar. Alright. Is this where we have the cutscene also? Maybe? Steampunk Western script. Ah, excellent. So I'm going to take the prompt from this, but we're going to apply it to expand Outlaws of Alkenstar. I also need to get the AI to watch some lore videos about Alkenstar. That will expand their knowledge quite a bit, I think. Let's see. Okay. So in this particular script where we're teaching them, hey, come on. No. All right. Where we're teaching it about the Alkenstar campaign, and it helped us come up with some chase scene stuff. I have brought in the prompt. I'm writing some short scenes for my steampunk western crime drama, heavily influenced by Netflix Arcanes. I'm going to give you some prompts, and I would like you to create a short script for a scene inspired by the prompt. Alright, we're going to head over to the Discord. We're going to go to Outlaws of Alkenstar. And Darby's suggestion was the beginning of Book 2. Kosawana is the best way of starting this chapter, in my opinion, if you didn't use it as the Book 1, Chapter 3 end. Kosawana solving the Pyronite formula with the help of Nyarlathotep reflection in the beaker glass. If we scroll way up, let's see. Man, we had this discussion a while ago. Let's see. Here we go. Chapter 3 end scenes. If the party turns Shoma into the shield marshals, then we have a scene with Lovelace taking out the trash. If the party turns Shoma free, if the party keeps Shoma as a companion, and then flashback scene of Gattleby hosting a technology TED talk about Pyronite potential with Shoma and Kosawana in the audience watching with two different faces, one of joy and one of shock. I kind of like that one. So, well, keep in mind that the yeast can attack either side. It's just that the Sunset group wasn't like positioning themselves so that the yeast would help them. They like ran right into the middle of the room and then got targeted by everything. But if they had like pulled back, if they had done a knowledge check that the yeast don't like the cold, they could have retreated into the freezer. I'm not trying to like victim shame them, but I'm saying that they had a lot of ways that they could have handled that fight differently that would have turned out a lot better. All right. So, in this scene, we find ourselves at the steampunk college in a grand lecture hall. Vashon Gattleby, a human inventor and alchemist who is prematurely old looking for his age, is presenting a new invention, Pyronite. The substance is touted by the overly confident Gattleby as the next big thing, and an explosive compound with limitless power and potential. Many people are in attendance, the greedy, mustached halfling investor Mugland, as well as 2 other important figures. The first is Shoma Lyserius, an Ifriti alchemist who views the Pyronite as an incredible opportunity to get rich and powerful. The other is a dark-skinned scholar and priest of Bry named Kosowana, who views the invention of Pyronite with dread. No one should have this much power so easily. Before the men can say anything about their feelings, the Pyronite demonstration goes awry. Jesus Christ, how do you spell awry? Goes wrong. There we go. And there is a disastrous explosion. Many are injured, but no one is killed thanks to the many protective wards cast on the college. As the smoke clears, we see Shoma's dark eyes glittering with greedy intent, and Shoma's frightened eyes looking terrified and desperate. Alright. Whew, there's a lot of spelling errors here. Hopefully this works out. And go. Also, the other group did have the cold orb that anybody could have used, but they decided not to use it on the ooze, but to use it on the plants instead. Again, because nobody bothered rolling any recall knowledge checks. Yeah, the big issue with Sunset is they ran right up into that shit. They ran right up into that shit. They were like, yeah, boy, and then they just pulled like the whole room like they were a World of Warcraft warrior or something. Alright, so let's check out this cutscene. Title, The Reveal of Pyronite. In the grand lecture hall of the college in the morning. The room is vast, adorned with cogs, gears, and intricate steampunk designs. Sunlight filters through large windows, illuminating rows of cushioned seats filled with eager attendees. In the center stands a large wooden podium, and behind it a table holds a sealed container glowing softly. Atop the podium, Vashon Gattleby, an aging inventor... well, I don't think he's aging. We'll put a ragged-looking... there we go. Inventor with a tired look but proud stance adjusts his goggles and begins his presentation. Okay, I'm down with that. Ladies and gentlemen, today is a day of great promise. Today, we unveil the future. Pyronite. The room fills with murmurs and excitement. Mugland, a plump halfling with a large mustache and an even bigger pocket watch. What the fuck? Leads forward, eyes gleaming. Nearby, Shoma Lyserius, an Ifriti with fire in his eyes, looks both curious and calculating. Lastly, Kosawana, the dark-skinned priest, sits rigidly, concerned, evident on his face. Maybe we don't need the dark-skinned priest. We're gonna put a known priest of Bree. There we go. Sits rigidly, concern, evidence on his face. Vashon Galby says, this compound possesses nearly limitless power and potential. Power, wealth, innovation, it's all within reach. He opens the container, revealing the glowing pyronite inside. It pulses, as if alive. Muglin whispering to his neighbor, imagine the profits. We could revolutionize industries. Shoma Lyserius murmuring to himself, and with that power, the world could be mine. Okay, that's a little over the top. Yeah. With that power, the financial... No. With that power, the freedom to do as I please. That's better. Kosawana, hearing the comments, looks increasingly distressed, whispering fervently, this is too dangerous. Mortals should not wield such power. Vashon Gattleby, and now, for a live demonstration. Gattleby begins his experiment, however, something goes awry. The pyronite starts pulsing erratically, attendees murmur anxiously, and Gattleby looks alarmed. Kosawana standing up shouting, everyone, shield yourselves! Before anyone can react, the pyronite erupts in a blinding explosion. Flames and smoke engulf the room. However, just as quickly the flames are quelled and the smoke is sucked away, the result of protective wards around the college. As the room clears, attendees are shaken and injured, but alive. The podium is charred and the pyronite container is destroyed. Vashon Gattleby lies dazed on the ground, his clothes singed. Mugland, coughing, staggering. What just happened? Amid the chaos, Shoma's eyes gleam darkly, seeing an opportunity amidst the devastation. This is just the beginning. Kosawana, horror-stricken, rushes to Gattleby's side, helping him up. Are you alright, Vashon? Look at what your ambition has wrought. Vashon Gattleby, shaking, his voice trembling. I didn't expect... It's supposed to be controlled. Kosawana looks at the aftermath, then back to Gattleby. This is a warning, Vashon. Some things are not meant to be controlled. Fade out with the silhouette of the college against the rising sun, the promise and perils of innovation clear for all to see. That's pretty good. It's pretty good. Okay. So, then we have a suggestion for Chapter 3... Oh, sorry. Going back down to the bottom here. We have a suggestion for Book 2, Chapter 1, Beginning. Kosawana is the best way, and so I guess we could tuck this in somewhere? You know? Make it the end of Chapter 1? That could be cool. Alright, so we're going to go back to Robit, and we're going to say... great work. You are so talented. You always got to be nice to the robots. You always have to be nice to the robots. Then we're going to put... You also have to be nice to people, too. If you hire someone for a job and they do a good job, you better tell them they did a good fucking job. Just saying. Alright. In this next scene... which happens weeks after the incident at the college, we find ourselves in a quiet laboratory. It is well lit by soft lights, and all around you can see that someone has been scrawling formula and doing maths. There you go. That's what I don't know. That's what scientists do. The camera settles on Kosawana, the priest of Bry. He has a feverish look about him. And then we could post in the prompt that Darby gave us. And then we'll do Kosawana is in the process of solving the Pyrolite formula. What he doesn't know is an ancient demonic force known as Nyartholthep has been guiding his work in the hopes of sowing chaos and destruction, as well as destroying Kosowana's faith in his goddess. Alright. The audience can see the flickering reflection of a foul demonic form flitting from beaker to beaker, watching Kosawana, but unknown to him. Kosawana has a sudden breakthrough and becomes furious at how easy it was to solve. It shouldn't be this easy. All types of gangs will use the dangerous Pyronite wildly, not to mention the armies of Geb and Nex. Exclamation mark. Kosawana sees his old copy of Logic Design, a Bree religious book that was banned for its controversial and dangerous doctrine from the archive, and in a hurried packing scene talking to himself about how he can fix the hands of time. His plan is to use the quartz crystals to travel back in time and keep Balby from ever knowing. Well, we don't want to tell him all that. Alright. The scene should end with Kosawana saying something ominous and foreboding about fixing all of this. Hype! Alright. Let's see what the robot does. Oops. Man. If only I was good at spelling, typing, being a human being. There's a lot of things I wish I was good at. Wait a minute, Ninzard, are you implying that I'm nicer to robots than I am to people? Is that what you're trying to say? Is that what you're fucking saying right now? I mean, 'cause you're right, but, I mean, that's actually pretty good advice. Pretend people are robots. Maybe I'll be nicer to them. Alright, let's see what we got here from the quote-unquote writer's room. Man. I can feel, like, my soul dying a little bit here, but that's okay. Book 2, Chapter 1, end. Alright. let's see. This will be that, and then book 2 would be that. Great. All right. Laboratory at night. The laboratory is an alchemical masterpiece. Beakers bubble, vials shimmer in a variety of colors, and glass containers hold obscure specimens. Soft lights illuminate the room, revealing chalkboards and parchment filled with intricate formulas, equations, and hastily jotted notes. The constant scratching of quill on paper creates an eerie atmosphere. There's a close-up of Kosawana, his eyes bloodshot and wild, his robe slightly disheveled. His fingers are stained with ink and, we'll put ink and chemical burns. There we go. And he feverishly writes, referencing different notes, making connections. As he works, a subtle, sinister reflection flickers in the glass beakers, an ever-changing form, both serpentine and humanoid. The audience recognizes it. Okay. Let's see. We're gonna put... Kosawana seems unaware of this intrusive and ominous presence, but it is keenly aware of him. There we go. Whispering to himself, "It shouldn't be this easy. It's too simple, too direct." He scribbles faster, double-checking his math and chemistry. Then suddenly he stops, staring at his calculations, his eyes widening in realization. The pyronite formula. I've solved it. His excitement quickly fades as the implications dawn on him. This is catastrophic. Every thief, every warlord, every power-hungry mage will have this at their fingertips. Geb, Nex, the world will crumble. In a fit of realization, he hurriedly scans his lab. His gaze falls upon a worn old book, Logic of Design. He retrieves it from its hiding place, flipping it open to a marked page. He reads a passage silently, his expression turning from desperation to resolve. I can undo this. There has to be a way to put things right, to set the course straight. As he begins packing essential tools and ingredients into a bag, he mutters to himself, piecing together a plan. The hands of time can be mended. All I've learned, everything I've done, it was for a purpose. To serve Bry, to serve order. As he slings the bag over his shoulder, he stands tall, looking out of a window at the moonlit night. His expression is one of grim determination. I will fix all of this, no matter the cost. The room is filled with silence, save for the soft bubbling of the beakers, and the unseen, malevolent chuckle of the entity. The lurking entity. Nice. Nice. I like that. I like that a lot. Alright. So, that's settled. Checking out our maps over here for chapter 3, Turn the Screws. Widget Warehouse. So I had them blow up a dinosaur to show that these people are fucking crazy. And we do have a scene with double bites. Now, I have to go grab double bites from the other game, I think. Because I don't think I remember to put it into my compendium, but I can check. Let's see. Actors. We got Sunset players. Nope. We got High Noon players. We got Outlaw citizens, NPCs, sewers. Yeah, so we didn't grab Bitey. So we gotta grab Bitey Deluxe, essentially. So let me go and boot up Sunset real quick. Man, I don't know what I want to do for Christmas, Mom. Man, when you're old enough to remember people having to call you on the phone, and then like you're in a point where like people can just access you 24/7. Gen X is rough, guys. It's rough. So, I'm rooting for the Zoomers though. For little blonde Messiah and all the Zoomers, I'm rooting for them. So, hopefully I don't get eaten when they turn on the elders. All right, let's go to where's my bitey at? Okay, so this bitey has extra shit added because I'm a goddamn monster. So he has spells. There we go. I gave him Electric Arc and Acid Burst. I don't think that this bitey has that. Let me see. No. So I don't think I need to do anything else except just add those spells. So that shouldn't be too bad. Where's Electric Arc? Oh no, I have to... It's so much work to pimp your monsters. I hate it. Let's see. Export. And then we'll go over here and import. There we go. Alright. So we'll clone Bitey, so there'll be two Bites. Bitey will essentially... a head will burst out of Bitey's tail. And then he'll have two Bites. And then... what else do we got? That's all the changes we made to this map. And let's see. Then we've got Ridgeback Rodeo Arena. So it was pointed out to me by rules coach Dr. Robin Zorro that I did a lot of things wrong related to this arena event. Here's my take. It was fun, and that's all that matters at the end of the day. However, it is good to know just how restrictive the rules actually are. There's a reason nobody bothers with mounts, because mounts are a fucking chore, apparently. There's a lot of action economy sunk into mounts if you have not taken all of the precautions to make mounts really, really good. The only thing stopping everyone from having a mount in 5th edition D&D is how easy it is for mounts to get killed. Their balancing decision for 5e was to make horses out of paper mache. So, like, anyone that's, like, riding a horse, they're like, God damn, riding a horse is fucking amazing. And then your horse dies, like, 5 minutes into the adventure. And you're like, well, never doing that again. In Pathfinder, things are a lot tougher. So, like, riding around on a mount, if it was good, everybody would be doing it. Do you see the problem? So, I did a lot of things wrong with it. True. There were a lot of things I let people do that were locked behind feats that I felt would be appropriate to do during this minigame. So I don't have too much regrets about that. There was the topic of objects don't make saving throws in Pathfinder 2, which is different than 5e. I guess that makes sense. It would be weird for an object to make a reflex saving throw, because it's an object. But objects also don't suffer critical hits, and monsters don't have siege monster ability or whatever, where they do double damage to objects. So it was like kind of a weird space. My belief is that if I was running an arena and I had a Triceratops that was supposed to smash barrels, I would make sure that those barrels were very easily smashed by my Triceratops. So I feel like while they don't actually do double damage to objects, I feel like the barrels would take double damage from a goddamn 12,000 pound Triceratops running over the fucking barrels. So in that way, I feel like I handled the rodeo minigames pretty well for someone that doesn't have a full grasp of the system. But I am learning very rapidly that there is a lot of stuff to unpack when it comes to mounts specifically, very much. It was also pointed out to me, and this is something that I know and that we have fought hard for to convince our GM to allow in our Tuesday night game. You're not allowed to force move people while you grapple them. You're just not allowed to do it. We are so desperate to force move enemies that Stone respect to get moves that allow him to force move things, because we are so used to having force move things. PF2 would make them have weakness X to Triceratops damage. Absolutely. Yeah, these barrels are specially made. They have weakness 15 to Triceratops. Absolutely, Dom. Absolutely. So here's the thing. I did my own research, and a very popular house rule for Pathfinder, if you want forced movement while grappling, is, can you handle the bulk of the thing that you're moving? If so, you are allowed to move them 1 square for 1 Pac-Man. 1 square for 1 Pac-Man is what I keep seeing come up as like the homebrew solution to force moving a grappled target. That's what I see. Now, there are monsters that it says this monster can move around while it has a grappled target. Very big creatures, they can move around while they have a grappled target. In the remaster, they're adding a move called Reposition. Nice, nice. Yeah, it is definitely a glaring weakness of the combat system, is there's just not enough ways to force move an enemy or to move your friends. I think that is an area that 5e has the lead on. I think that it just feels too restrictive not being able to move stuff around. Yes, there's moves that allow you to do that. We've been gravitating towards those moves. I've gone with liberal direction on the shove action. That's another cool way to handle it. I like that. Liberal direction with the shove action. The new move, according to Dom, you move grappled target 5 feet or 10 feet per Pac-Man on a success or a crit. That's beautiful. Also, I do like that in Pathfinder, you have to spend a Pac-Man every round to maintain a grapple. I wish there was some way to show that in 5e, but 5e's action economy, I don't think there's a way to fix it, honestly. And it's making it hard. It's making it hard to run 5e, because seeing a system like this that is generally a pretty well-oiled machine, it is making running 5e combat just not very appealing. It's just not very fun for me to play or to run anymore. But I want to finish the games that I have. I think for the most part, my goal with my games in 5e is going to be running the combats that are necessary, but fortunately, all 3 of my games for Curse of Strahd, they're almost at the level where they're going to unlock fast travel, and that will reduce the number of random battles that we have significantly, which is great. I feel like less is more with the 5e combat system, which is a terrible thing to say, but I mean, it is what it is. It doesn't do combat very well. What it does do is it's so liberal, and the spells are so powerful that it does encourage a lot of like creative storytelling play compared to Pathfinder 2, where you're like, sorry, I don't know how to jump off of this horse because I don't have a special feat that takes 2 Pac-Mans to jump off my fucking horse. I gotta stop the horse all the way, and then I gotta spend a Pac-Man to get off of the horse. Ugh. Meanwhile, over in 5e, you're just like, give me an athletics check. Fuck yeah, you did it, baby. Like, I like those moments from 5e so much more than the restrictive moments here. I like the combat here but I like the freedom of 5e. I think when I finish Alkenstar, the next game I run is going to have a lot more like liberal storytelling and like loose like skills. Unless it's like a very important fight, it's going to be a lot looser on what you can do. And then we're going to like really turn the screws on like hard fights and meaningful fights. Anyways, I'm at time. I got to go run my game. So, I hope everybody has a good Saturday. I'm going to spend the rest of my Saturday after the game finishing painting this wall, and then I'm going to finish renovating this office, and I'm very excited about that. We got 2 games tomorrow, a game on Monday, a game on Tuesday. Nothing on Wednesday, I don't think. I might be starting to run my classic Curse of Straw game on Wednesdays. We'll see. We've got Extra Life coming up next weekend. Please donate, participate, be in chat, cheer everybody on. Look forward to seeing everybody. Have a good day. See you next time.